So for this part of my room update, I wanted to talk about how the DVDs are stored. I know some people had questions about some of the Stranger DVD boxes, but there's plenty of things about it that are worth mentioning because I've done the videos where all the DVDs are around, but obviously the room isn't like that all the time. For example, in my earliest video, I definitely showed things such as them being double layered here. Let's actually pick up the camera. You can see I keep DVDs back there. In fact, there's Evangelion. I'm going to have to organize that stuff to get two back there. There's nothing about this alphabetical. You have Evangelion, Cowboy Bebop, Ultramaniac, Eureka 7, Inuyasha. You know, the names just jump because I put DVDs wherever I can fit them. So, it's kind of strange how back there I stored the DVDs right side up, but then I have pile on the front here. That's, I guess, more tradition. This bookshelf is the very first one that my DVDs started collecting on, and when I began double layering everything, this was just the way I started doing it, and so it kind of stays that way. I started putting DVDs on top of it, and you can see the piles there get plenty big. A lot of this stuff is pretty obviously easy to store. Inuyasha with the figurine in it there, or my Otome box sets. But a couple of the more interesting ones stay over here. For example, Hack's sign has this really weird shape to it, so it just kind of sits snugly in the corner there. Wolf's Ring could probably fit in a bookshelf but like this, but right there with its unusual angled shape, it stays pretty much out of the way. Lucky Star also has the way the box works. This here has kind of got a lip to it, so I ended up putting it there. VHS tapes don't fit anywhere, so since I don't have a place to store them, that's where they are. And the Gantz ball has to sit on top of something since it only has a flat bottom. So obviously that's why it's up there. Naturally, you can see that these are double layered too. There's more spacing in the ones in the back than the ones here in the front. So it's not quite as compact, but I don't think I could fit more DVDs back there. And then I started doing things like this. Putting DVDs standing in front. It actually works out pretty well for this one, the Garden of Sinners Blu-ray box set, because it's got a pretty nice front to it. It leaves out the impressiveness of the DVDs, but there's always going to be trade-offs. Now, I guess there used to be a desk here that was the second place I was collecting stuff, but I replaced it with this bookshelf at some point. And everything in here is pretty much stored normally, except for the fact that I don't have a place for Blu-rays yet, so they're just kind of sitting on top there. If you're curious about the Black Rock Shooter, you may have noticed there's one Blu-ray there and one there. The truth of the matter is Black Rock Shooter is still under this pile to be processed, so it doesn't have a home yet. I don't know how to fit that thing in. When you got weird box sets that have lips like this, they go here. There's another one for Gundam Seed stuff back there, but mostly the stuff that's shaped oddly has to be near the front, obviously. And then I started putting stuff on the top because I needed space, especially since the Dragon boxes need to be together, and I didn't have another place to start putting a ton of Mace and the Koku stuff. Okay, so at this location there used to be a giant black bookcase, but now there's this white one with glass shelves. Now obviously I've partitioned the bottommost shelves, the top two shelves on each row, to figurines. They're a little shifted around in there. But otherwise, I've got the DVDs in here, and this one's probably more relevant for the weirdly shaped NIS ones that people have talked about. So, as you can see, I've got Wagnaria here, And behind these I've got Our Holmes Fox Deity. So I've got some of them that are kind of stored like that in front of the DVDs, but they're not all like that. For example, if we come down here, you can see it looks like a pretty normal row of DVDs, except here's Pandora Hearts. See, because these DVD cases are double layered, and the boxes are pretty much as thick as two DVDs, I can kind of put them in the side here and have them be in both the front and the back layer. It's not as efficient. It's not the most efficient way, I guess, but then again, I think the most efficient way would actually be to download this stuff instead of buy it. So there's trade-offs, and I tried to put them on the sides, on the inside, so that they can be taken in and out easier. Here's Persona, for example. Probably be easier to find some of the others, but I don't know. Anyways, as you can tell, since I have double layered all the shelves, that's why I've started triple layering everything by putting stuff like this in front. As you can see, if I place it in normally, it sticks out a little. The door will bump into it. So I'm pretty much stuck with putting them in like that. I can't think of any unusual things about this setup other than the fact that all of the Pokemon takes up this shelf, so the back row is a little bit loose since there's not quite enough room for one more DVD or something like that. This obviously doesn't stand too well. And you may have noticed that there are some DVDs sticking out. It's not that I'm trying to watch the Goku-Sen, but behind it there's a DVD turned on its side to remind me what I'm watching. Sort of like over here, there's a DVD sticking out behind it is where One Piece is. That's how I'm remembering which DVD I'm on for a friend. And then we got the stuff back here. And there's no tricks here. This is just piles and piles of stuff. I managed to rearrange them at some point into 4 rows with 3 columns each for a total of 12 stacks. They're pretty big stacks too. It's just a dense collection of DVDs. But that's mostly for storing a massive number. There's none of the strange ones are there, except for maybe the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tin box. Let me see if I can actually get back there. Take a quick peek. So we've got Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff here. So if I pick these up, you can see the tin there. It kind of has to rest around the DVD it's sitting on. It's really strange. Probably really hard to see on camera, so that's why I'm mentioning it. And since I mentioned these here, this is my gaming footstool. I don't take stuff out of it very often, partially because of the stuff I pile on top of it, but also partially because I'm doing enough anime watching and Pokemon playing that I don't need to dig around in there. So I'll keep things like DVDs I still need to rip and or sort. This doesn't even necessarily this isn't necessarily limited to just anime. I've got to put these on my non-anime media server. Some really weird stuff there. And I do have the Blu-ray of the Street Fighter 4 Blu-ray thing, Black Rock Shooter Blu-ray handle. A lot of the non-anime stuff, though, well, all of it thus far has gone into storage back there. It's just pretty strange storage, isn't it? Anyways, there's also extra anime DVDs back there. So it's used for DVD storage for stuff that I don't want people to be able to come out and see, or to just walk in the room and see. Anyways, I think that just about covers how I organize the DVDs. I guess the only strange exception to anything here that I haven't mentioned is, as you can see, I've got Sayuki here, and this box is still open until I go and actually get the rest of Sayuki, which I will. And I guess I do try and keep related series near each other, so you have all the Tenchi stuff in one place here. So when y'all request all the Tenchi stuff, that's pretty easy. Since I organized that, all the Go Nagai stuff, of course, was all over the place. So at least I'm not completely disorganized. I mean, Mahime and Mayotome are next to each other, and again, all the Pokemon stuff are there, and all the Dragon Ball stuff is somewhere down there. All the Gundam stuff is here in the back row. So it's pretty good. I used to have all my Clamp stuff in one place down there until I got Tsubasa Chronicle X and Holic. Oh well. But Rumiko Takahashi stuff is in 4 different places, and Urusei Yatsura is in the back there. Oh well, I guess that pretty much covers all my anime DVDs. How I store them. I don't know if that's of particular useful information to everybody out there, but if it's not, well, you can just not watch the video, right?